So yeah, link to this is in the meeting chat. And once you're there, you'll want to click the big green button and then copy this HTTPS link like so. Put that on your clipboard, and then you'll want to go to GitHub Desktop. And I already have it kind of set up on my computer, but I'll just do it again just for the sake of the example. And then you'll hit, let me know if I need to slow down at any point, because I am kind of going fast. So are we all good? Do we have the meetings chat? Cool. So once you have the HTTP link copied to your clipboard, you will go to GitHub Desktop, and then in the top left, you will click the drop down, hit add, and then clone repository from URL, and then you'll paste that in. And I already have this, but you'll paste this in, and then you'll select the folder that you want all of these project files to be saved to. If you guys are GitHub pros, you can just use Git Bash or whatever. This is just the easiest way to do it for beginners. So I guess raise your hand once you get to this step, once you clone the repo.
Traditionally, so like the general idea going forward is we're gonna try to have like a repo for like every kind of like more like technical workshop. So you can kind of just like pull from that from the beginning, and like if you weren't here at like maybe like one of the last ones, you can kind of use that as a base. So just to kind of help things be as accessible as possible. So.
Okay, everyone, we good to move on then? Okay. So once you clone, it'll download all of the files for you, so you don't have to worry about that. The next step is to go into Unity Hub, and then whenever Unity Hub is launched, you'll want to add a new project from disk. Do not choose from repository, because that is referring to Unity's proprietary version control thing. No one uses it because everyone uses GitHub. So you'll do add project from disk, and then you will just navigate to where you saved your cloned repository, wherever that might be. So for me, it would be in GDC, GitHub, and then you would just want to open the fall 2025 project folder in Unity Hub, and then once you do that, it will recognize that as a Unity project that you can then open. So did everyone catch that? I can repeat myself if I need to. So yeah, just a thumbs up whenever we're to the step. Cool. Okay, so then you'll just want to open up, you'll just click on this project in Unity Hub, and then Unity will do what Unity does best and load for however long it likes to, and then you will eventually open up to the project once I can open it, because it's loading, because it does. Can I open it now? Okay, this is not the correct branch. Oh, I'm gonna actually have to restart my own Unity. Splendid. Okay. So once you guys open the Unity project that you pulled from the repo, you'll just see this basic template that we have set up for you guys. Just something I want to point out right at the start, that if you at any point get confused or fall behind and just want to copy and paste something, I included a folder called Optional Materials. Optional Materials contains everything that we'll need for the completed version of this workshop. So if you just want to grab a script and not think about it, grab it from this folder and put it where the tutorial that I'm telling you tells you to put it. So the first step that I'll have you guys do is go into Scenes and then double click on Sample Scene just to make sure it's selected here. So if you guys were here for the last Unity workshop, a scene is basically it's almost like the level or the kind of workspace that Unity is currently looking at, and you can have several of them, which can make organizing your game a lot more streamlined and a lot easier. So the first step I'm going to have you do is that I'm just going to have you rename your sample scene to level 1. So let's do rename and then level 1. This will just help us keep track of it in the future as we expand on this project. So in each scene, it just comes with the main camera. That's what you're seeing here. It's just looking into the void. It's not super important at the moment, but if you go to this top tab, you can click on scene, and that is your editor view where you can mess with stuff. So is everybody to this point? Does everybody have their Unity project open, or is it still loading? Still loading. Okay. I don't want to go off without you guys, so I can wait for that to load. But yes, these are the basics for what you need to know. So, you guys see any good movies lately?
What movies have come out?
I don't know. I don't watch movies.
Right.
Superman? Oh, that was like July.
Yeah, don't freak out. That was not recent.
It's the only new movie that ever come out, though.
You're right. That was the only movie that came out this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that and what, like Fantastic Four. I don't remember anything else that came out.
Didn't K-pop Demon Hunters come out? I haven't
I
seen
guess,
it. I've
but
heard
like,
it's good.
Yeah.
did that like come out in theaters? I thought it was just on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was like a
sing along in the theater.
Yeah, there was a sing along in theaters and all that.
That's awesome.
Wasn't there like a new Jurassic Park this year?
Oh, the one.
Oh, yeah.
I do not remember
I don't
anything about it. I
remember
know I saw it with my
Star Wars.
family, but I do not remember anything about that movie.
I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
It's just Jurassic slop. It's
Yeah.
The movie released recently.
What?
Demon Slayer movie.
It's like, yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
I'm a big Demon Slayer guy, so I kind of forgot.
What, are you like demons? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, actually.
A lot of demon movies coming out this year.
Yeah.
Hollywood's been taking over.
Is anyone else still trying to get it running or?
Okay, cool. Will anybody be upset if I just continue?
Absolutely.
Write down it on Google Doc.
Sounds good.
Boycott Adam.
Impeach Adam?
No, it's not impeach, it's boycott.
Boycott?
Yeah.
Okay. First step to making any good 2D Unity game, you right click in your little objects hierarchy right there, and then you create 2D object, sprite, and then square. This?
Where will be the final project?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I was laughing.
We're gonna change the square though. It's got big plans. See.
A second square inside.
Okay, so
Don't spoil anything.
So this square is going to represent our player objects. So we're going to rename the square to player. And then from there, we can do a couple interesting things with this square. Right now, it's kind of boring, so let's fix that. If you go into optional materials and then sprites, you'll see Gort is here. This will be our player sprite. I included it for all of y'all, so you guys should have it. Because I think about these things. So now we have Gort, our lovely little boy. At least I think he's a dude. I don't know. You can ask him. Anyway, so now that we have a sprite object and an image attached to our sprite, we need to make this character object interact with the world somehow. So we need to add two components. The first being 2D box collider, which adds his hitbox. So I believe that's all you need. You just need to have it assigned to him. And then the second step is to add a 2D rigid body 2D. And this will essentially handle the physics calculations that are, defined by the bounding box of the box collider. So whenever you have the rigid body 2D, you need to set the gravity scale to 0 so Gort does not fall for eternity, because that would suck. And then I think there might be one more Thing we have to set here. Oh, check the notes. Is there anything we have to set here? Any more settings? I think we just set gravity scale to 0 and it works.
Check.
Okay. For now, this is all you have to do until I remember something. You can test that he won't fall through the world by hitting play and letting the game load. And see our boy is sitting right there, safe and sound. But if someone unscrupulous were to, oh no, he
died.
wait. But then if I do -10, he should come flying back up.
You might go too fast.
So yeah, we want that. We want that at 0. Oh, the Z, yes. So we don't want him to like rotate if he bumps into something. So you need to go into Rigidbody 2D and then freeze the Z rotation. So he won't like tumble, because we don't want that either. He gets very motion sick.
So game object is the player again.
Oh, okay. So all you have to do is right click, create 2D object, and then sprite, and then square. That's it. And then I can go through how to assign a sprite to him if you need.
I got it.
Okay, you got it?
I was double checking what type of game object you want.
Of course, yeah. Gort is just a sprite. That's all he needs to be. So then next up, we're going to make some world for Gort to interact with. So we're going to make some walls to go around our scene. So we'll do what we did earlier, and we'll do create 2D object sprite square. Square. And then I'm just going to drag the square to the edge of this camera rectangle. And then I'm going to stretch it. And then I'm going to stretch it again. So now we have a floor. Now you can make whatever geometry you want here, but for the sake of this demonstration, I want Gort to be confined within the walls of the camera. I don't want him being free and stuff. So now that I have the square, I'm gonna rename it ground, and then I'm gonna add a 2D box collider. So that will give it collisions. So whenever Gort intersects with this ground, the 2D rigid body is going to be like, there's a collider here. I gotta stop. And it'll stop. So I'm just going to copy and paste this ground 3 more times so I can make the walls of his prison, which is an allegory for society, if you think about it. So here we go. And then Control-C, Control-V. And then, bam. Okay. Now I have 4 walls, all with 2D box colliders. So we can test to make sure the collision works by pressing play again. And then if I turn up the gravity, instead of going through the stage, he just falls on the ground, safe and sound. So, lovely. Okay, so we got this. So we have collisions working, that's good. Now we gotta figure out a way to get Gort to move. We have to control him, we've gotta get in his head. And you'll find a lot of tutorials for this on Unity, because Unity's ancient, but Unity recently, this year, implemented a brand new input system for movement. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to use that. So we're gonna select Gort, and then we're going to go to Add Component, and then we're going to type in Player Input. So we'll do that. And it's going to try to pre-select this input system that comes baked in with every single Unity template. We don't want that because it doesn't have the presets we want. So whenever you have player input associated with Gort, you'll just select this little bullet icon, and then you'll select none. So that disassociates that built-in script with the player input for Gort. And then you'll see this little button that says create actions. This will create our template for player input. So I'm gonna press that. it's going to ask to save this file somewhere. So what I want you guys to do is that in your project, I want you to make a new folder. So new folder, and call this input so that we can have easy access to this later and it doesn't get cluttered. So I'm going to do input. I'm going to go in here. And then I'm also going to rename this to player input, just so it's more obvious what this this object is doing. So player input. Save. Okay, so this is the brand new Unity input system. And it basically makes it very easy to map keybinds and make like presets for settings and for like different control schemes. It'll be very useful if you want to have like more than just keyboard support for your game in the future. We won't be going very into depth on this, but just note that under this move here, it has W, ACE, and D, and the arrow keys pre-bound to movement, which is very convenient for us. And then furthermore, once you are on the screen, just for future, you will want to set the action type to value and the control type to vector 2. This will come in handy whenever we do a fire input later in this tutorial. So is everybody good with this part? Yes.
We're gonna commit arson.
Don't tell anyone.
We'll get there, okay?
We're working on it.
Hold your horses. Okay, so, but everyone's good. Cool. And then once you make your changes to action type and control type, just hit save asset. It'll save the asset, and we'll be good. We good?
Still like loading up, so you guys are good.
Okay. So once you have the player input associated with Gort, you'll want to press default scheme. Wait, no, not that one. Default map. Yes, and you want to press player. So that'll assign all the preset player binds that we just generated to Gort. So now that we have an input handler of sorts, now we need a script to figure out what those inputs are actually supposed to do. So we will be making a new script just for Gort. Can you believe it? So you'll do new component, script, new script, and we're going to call this one movement. Class called movement already exists. No, it doesn't. Let's just call it Gort's movement then. Create and add Gort movement. So then it'll ask you to save the script in your project. So you'll once again make a folder, and this time we're going to call it scripts so that we can have all our scripts in a nice, neat little space. So let's call this scripts. Script. It's a Deep Rock Galactic reference. Cool. Okay, it's going to do some Unity magic, I guess. And then eventually it'll show up in your scripts, and then you can open it. Wow. So if you want to just copy and paste the completed script, that's going to be in optional materials that is already in your project. I'm going to slowly copy and paste that script chunk by chunk, just so that I can explain it to you guys and so that you guys have time to type it by hand if you so wish. So the first thing you're going to do is get rid of everything because it sucks. So, and then you'll want to do using Unity engine. Okay, I already forgot the name of it. That's why I have all these scripts pre-baked and stuff.
Unity engine.input system.
Thanks. So Unity engine.input system. This is what imports all the information that the script will need to use that input handler that we added earlier. And then the next two things I'm going to add is these two guys. So this is a requirement or a required component line. So what this does is that you can essentially define all of the things that a script that you write will need in order for it to function. So if you want to avoid accidentally having a bunch of compile errors in the future whenever you assign a script to something, you can like make a list of all these components that your script needs to function so you can't accidentally mess it up. Or if someone else is working with your code, they can't blame you that your stuff doesn't work whenever it's really their fault, you know? So that's what you need at the top of the script before the class. And then I'm just gonna copy these serialized fields and variables. So these are all of the things that we will need to define the movement characteristics of Gort. That includes max speed, acceleration, deceleration, and then the body, which is the physics entity that Gort is associated with, current input and velocity. That just handles the input vectors from your keyboard, and velocity is just the number that is calculated each frame. So is everyone good with this? We're going to add our first function, private void awake. This says whenever Gort spawns, get the component that is his physics object. So the rigid body 2D that we added earlier. This essentially associates the script with Gort's rigid body, which is very important. Okay. Then the fixed update. So fixed update is a function that runs its calculations once every frame. I believe fixed essentially means that it can calculate, or it can compensate for frame drop. So if your frames are super slow, it more associates the calculations with time. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, I do apologize. Editor, please fix that in post. So let me break this down line by line. We have vector2 target velocity. So we are going to be using the input arrow keys, which is up, down, left, right. Whenever you press that, that sends Unity a 2D vector, which, X and Y. So like, let's say you press up, that would send Unity a vector of 0, 1. And we're going to use that to calculate which direction Gort is supposed to be moving. So that is what target velocity is doing. And then float rate is what we're going to determine. It's how we're going to determine if Gort is accelerating or decelerating. So whenever you press the arrow key, we want Gort to accelerate. He's a runner. He's going to be picking up steam. But whenever you let off the keyboard, we want him to take some time to slow down again. So that's what this if statement essentially is saying. And it is calculating that by current. If it's detecting any magnitude or any input vector from the keyboard, it'll say I'm accelerating or I'm decelerating. Then velocity is Gort's current velocity. So vector2.move towards basically is trying to say that we have our current velocity, however fast Gort is going, and how fast we want him to go, which is target velocity. So again, reiterating to target velocity, if we aren't pressing anything on the keyboard, the target velocity should be 0. We want him to come to a stop. But if we are pressing something on the keyboard, we want him to be going a certain speed at a certain direction. So this line essentially tries to push Gort towards that speed. And then we got some nerd stuff right here, like delta time. Who knows what time is or deltas are? I don't know.
You want me to draw something on the whiteboard?
Yeah, sure.
So basically, this function is going to run a bunch of frames per second. So if we have, can you guys see that? Or like a different chalk?
This is just crappy chalk.
This one's better, I think.
I think it's Crayola.
So if you have the start of a second here, and the end of a second here, basically you're getting 60 frames per second. So you can imagine these little things are frames. And every time you run this function, it's going to happen during a frame. So every second you run it however many frames that is. So if you have like a speed of 10, it's going to move 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 times in a second. So you want a way to make it so you move 10 in one whole second. And so we need the time between frames, which is just time.delta time. So basically, instead of moving by 10 every frame, you multiply by the amount of time you spent. So then over the course of a whole second, you'll move 10 as opposed to every frame.
Thank you for that wonderful explanation, Cole.
No problem.
Okay, are we good with this? If you have any questions about how this works, please ask us. We want you to understand how movement and yes.
So I kind of like that, then I have that, but what the method does, it just keeps the velocity the same overall frame rates. What's that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because if you have like 600 frames per second and every frame you move 10, you're going to be moving at 6,000 units per minute.
If you've ever played a Bethesda game with an unlocked frame rate, you'll know that's this concept. That's what this is trying to fix. Yeah. So, any other questions? We good? Chills.
Log in, dude.
Yeah. I am. There's one last thing we need for the script to work, and that is this. It's the private void on move. So this essentially grabs whatever input from that player input object that we added earlier and turns it into a vector. It says that it has no references, but it in fact does have references. Unity just kind of stinks a little bit. And then this dot normalized basically says if you're pressing two arrow keys at the same time, it'll set that thing to a 45 degree because it's like in between the two. So we're going to have 8 directional movement, and this dot normalized will allow that. So I'm going to do a Control S to save that. And then all you have to do is tab right back into your Unity project. Okay, no errors. Whoa, that's a first. And then we can test to see if our movement works by running the game. Ooh, look at him. Our boy's moving. He's moving. And then yeah, he just drifts around and stuff. He does decelerate very slowly. And whenever I wrote those scripts, max speed, acceleration, and deceleration, what serialized field essentially does is that it allows you to adjust those values on the fly during runtime, which is pretty cool. So I can set the deceleration to like 100,000 or whatever. So if I let go, he instantly stops.
You gonna play for his medical fees for getting whiplash all the time?
He doesn't have health insurance. He's on his own.
Jeez.
It's a Gort eat Gort world.
Remember back in corporate health insurance?
Nope.
He's got his own health insurance, it's just not good.
Yeah.
He has to pay for it himself. It's $1,000 a month.
I mean, he's one of our unpaid interns, so.
Also, you can see that he collides with all the walls and stuff, and he can't escape. Okay, cool. We good? This is pretty cool, right?
It gets better. He starts committing crimes soon. Don't freak out.
Soon. Okay, I believe this is
Do
where.
you want to add the fire?
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna do a little bit of work ahead of time, just so that Cole's section goes a little bit smoother for y'all. So we're gonna go to input, player input. We're gonna open up this field here. Now, you'll see that we have W, ACE, and D and arrow keys bound here. we don't actually want to move with the arrow keys. So what you can do is that I think you cannot select multiple. So I want you to unbind all 4 arrow keys from the movement, and then I will teach you how to then bind them to the fire group. So I'm gonna just do that right now. And then I do down arrow key. Do that. I do that. I do that. Okay, now you can only move with W, A, and D. This is very important. So once y'all got that, you'll see this fire group and how it has no arrow keys, which is lame. So what you'll do is that you'll press plus, and then hold up. So fired value vector 2. So yeah, you'll want to make sure that fire is set to value vector 2, like that. Very important. And then you'll press plus, and then you'll do up, down, left, right, composite. Boom. And then it'll add this little 2D vector group right here. This is what's going to control our 8-directional shooty shoot, for lack of a better term. I'm sure there's a better term. So for up, you'll want up arrow. And also this UI is very buggy, so you actually have to search it twice before it actually figures out what you want to do. Then down arrow. This is very frustrating that you have to, select it twice, but that's a bug that Unity will hopefully fix in the future. Indie company, Left arrow. Do it again. Left arrow. Right arrow. I'm going crazy. Right arrow. Okay. So once you got all that good, just make sure that your asset is saved. And now we have keybinds for move and fire separately so that we can reference them individually in the script. So it will be very useful for that. Now, can I hit it? Alrighty. So now let's give good old Gort here what equates to a gun.
Registered firearm.
Yes. So raise your hand if any of you guys need help.
On Gort, we can go down here, click add component, and then we'll just call it bullet spawner. I don't know why that's linking. Yeah, just add here, mono behavior script, and then bullet spawner. I think that was linking with one of Adam's other projects earlier. But then we can double click on that. Oh. Don't know why that. Did I accidentally?
There's some weird stuff going on. You might just want to call it something slightly different.
Okay. We can just rename it Gort Bullet Spawner. So now up here, just call it Gort Bullet Spawner. Okay. So again, we're going to get rid of the start and update functions.
Because they suck.
Because they're pretty useful. But
this
in this scenario, they suck. So we're going to do private void on fire. And I believe we need the access to the input again. So using Unity engine dot input system, and then within there, we get input value. We can just call that value. And that's going to give us the 2D vector we get from our arrow keys. And that'll be the direction we want to fire. So we do vector 2 direction equals value dot get, and then the value contains a vector 2, so we just add that in the little arrow brackets, and that gives us the direction. But first, we're going to need to spawn something. So here, we're going to create a serialize field private game object, since we're going to be spawning a bullet, and we can just call this bullet.
I want to call it Gort bullet with the way things have been going.
No, it's good. It's good. So now in our scene, we want to create a bullet. We can go to the object, sprites, circle, and then we can just call it bullet. Then over here, we are going to want to reset the transform. So if you click those 3 little dots, reset, it'll move it back to the center, 0, 0. And then we can recolor it yellow, because that's what color bullets are, I guess. And then we can go to add component. We're going to want our bullet to collide with stuff, so we can do collider, circle collider 2D. And now our bullet will be able to collide with things, and then for it to eventually register other colliders, we are also going to want a rigid body 2D. So on the rigid body 2D, we're also going to want to set gravity scale to 0 so they don't fall. And then we are going to add a new mono behavior script to put on the bullet called, we can just call it Gort bullet. There we go. And then if we click on Gort bullet and drag it, we can put it onto the.
I think it's because you haven't opened it yet.
Oh, it's because there's errors in this.
The alpha didn't save it yet.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, just get rid of that.
Okay. Reload. I don't know.
Ghost.
Just delete all that. Delete that. Reloads.
There's some
Yep.
stuff going on.
There we go.
Branches. I thought I fixed it before this.
All good.
But, yeah.
So then we can also move bullet spawner onto player.
We gotta remove everything on the board. I have another Visual Studio tab open with all the completed scripts.
Yeah. So we can delete bullet spawner. Besides, we called it Gort bullet spawner anyway. So move that onto the player. So now we have Gort movement and Gort bullet spawner on him, and then we can click and drag the bullet to the bullet prefab right there. But now we're going to want the bullet to actually do something. So if we go to, backtrack real quick. We're going to want bullet in the prefabs folder. Which it already is.
What the? How did it? It's opening all the one of the old projects.
Oh. Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, I know what's going on. That's optional materials. That's all the completed stuff for people who want it.
Oh.
You just need to, okay, yeah, so undo that, undo the move. You're good.
Okay.
And then just close the folder, yeah.
So now we are in.
You just have to make the
Okay, yep.
Yeah, okay.
So
We figured it out, we're so smart.
that is the problem. Okay. So now new folder, call it prefabs. Oh, your enter button's in the wrong place. I keep accidentally doing the single quote.
It's in the wrong spot.
So now create the bullet prefab there, and on the player we can click and drag it there. So now we want the bullet to have some functionality. Double click on there, and then we want our scripts. Gort bullet. Click and drag that onto our bullet. Now if we go down here, you can open the Gort bullet script, and here we are going to want a few things. So serialize field. We are going to want a private speed. We want our private float speed, since we want our bullet to move somewhere at a certain speed and we want to be able to adjust that. And then we also want a public vector to direction. And it's public because we want our bullet spawner to be able to interact with it and set that value. So on start, we don't have to do anything. On update, however, we want the bullet to move. So we do transform to get the game objects position, rotation, and all that stuff. And we do transform.position or transform.translate. My bad. And this is a function that basically just moves an object. And so we want the direction times by how fast you want the bullets to move times by time dot delta time, for similar reasons to our character movement. So now, whenever we spawn a bullet, it should move at a fixed speed in a given direction. And so
Do you use fixed update or update for this?
either works.
Okay.
What's the difference between fixed update and regular update?
So I always thought that fixed update was fixed based on time, and regular update was based on frame rate. I'd have to double check that.
Fixed update is the physics update. It is supposed to run a fixed number of times per second.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Fixed update is fixed to time.
So
Anybody need help? Anybody know? Anybody? Okay.
So now that we have the bullet within our bullet spawner, when we fire it, we need the direction, and then we also need to create the bullet itself. So we get the bullet equals to create an object, you do instantiate. Bullet. And so this function will instantiate the bullet. Oh, I see. That's because we named those the same. So we can just call this one G bullet. So now that will spawn a bullet prefab, and then we want to get the bullet component of that. So get component, and this will allow us to access the script we wrote for the bullet. Dot bullet direction. It should be Gort bullet dot direction equals direction dot normalized. So this will spawn a bullet given the user input direction. Forgot one thing. If you're not pressing any of the keys, we don't want it to spawn a bullet. So if direction dot equals vector2 dot 0, and then we can add the brackets and Control C or Control X, Control V. So now, as long as any one of the keys are pressed, the direction will not be 0, and we want to spawn a bullet. And then if a bullet gets fired, currently there's nothing to destroy it, so we got to add a serialized field, private, despawn time. Private float despawn time. And so now in the private void update, we can do despawn time minus equals time dot delta time. So, and then after that, we can do if despawn time is less than 0.0 f. We're going to want to destroy the bullet, so destroy this. Save that, and then
Should the despawn time, do we need to define the despawn time? Like,
yes, we will set that on the bullet prefab.
okay.
So if we go over to prefab, bullet, we can scroll down over here. We can set the speed to, let's say, 6. And then oh wait, I did this in the wrong script. Sorry about that. So Control S, Gort bullet. Cut that down here. Speed direction. Gort bullet spawner. We want that. Despawn time. So
Everybody understand what code needed to go where?
So now on the bullet, we should have that field despawn time. We can set that to 10 seconds. That should be plenty of time. And now, if we delete that one from the scene, we can test it out. Missed something there, I think. So, bullet spawner. Oh,
That's the.
Oh.
Yes.
Bullet spawner on fire at the game object. Missed something here. I'll just do that now and explain it. So
Oh, you didn't have that vector 2 direction at the top there before the statement. I don't think you have that defined.
okay. So yeah, this essentially does all that, and then also spawns it at the player position.
You do need to assign that in the
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I do apologize. I did this.
Oh, good.
It's just
Compiling scripts. And when we go here, drag the player to the spawn, since that's where we want the bullet to spawn, and then the prefab is there. Now, if we hit play, you can see Gort spawned some bullets,
they're moving.
and they aren't moving.
They do drift though.
They do drift, so physics is working.
What's Gort doing there? What does that represent?
So, null reference exception. Oh, this should be a Gort bullet.
Bullet direction.
I think we just have it as direction.
See that.
Yes.
Making progress.
So now that we have that properly set up, the bullets move and then they collide with walls.
I love the detail of them gyrating whenever they hit the wall.
Yes.
Can you make them despawn whenever they hit any collision?
Yes. So,
Also, does everyone understand the relationship between the bullet spawner and the bullet? I can explain. I had a pretty good explanation. If anyone did, you know.
okay. So now we want the bullets to interact with the ground. So if we click on one of the grounds, we can go to the layer and add layer.
Is Gort the players and simultaneously the bullet spawner?
Yes, yes. So since Gort is essentially the one shooting, you can shoot the bullets out of Gort, essentially. So you can think of Gort as a gun.
we have the bullet objects associated with his objects.
He's just shooting key blasts.
Yes. Yep. So here you can add a ground layer. We're gonna want a Gort layer. We're gonna want an asteroid layer. You'll see that later. And a bullet layer.
So how did you get to the layer tab?
Yes. So if we click on ground, at the top right here, layer, add layer. And then you can add as many as you want. Click off of it, and then if you shift click and select multiple grounds at the same time, you can set all of their layers at the same time to ground. And then within the project itself, on the bullet prefab, you'll have to double click it to be able to view the layer. Go to default, and then we want to set it to our bullet layer. And then if we go to edit, project settings, way down here at the bottom, we can look on the left here, find physics 2D, and here is what's called the layer collision matrix. This basically defines what layers can interact with each other. So if you notice earlier when Gort was shooting the bullets, he was kind of pushing the bullets and the bullets were pushing him around as well. So we don't want Gort to interact with the bullets. So we find the bullet and Gort. We don't want those to interact. And then for simplicity, we don't want the bullets to interact with the ground either. And then we're going to want bullets to interact with asteroids. And then we're also going to want Gort to interact with asteroids. And then Gort can interact with himself because he's the only one.
Maintain character, but
So-
we don't want asteroids interacting with the walls.
Oh, yes. Asteroids and ground, we do not want to interact with either. So we can exit out of that. And now if we hit play, should be able to see.
Did you save yourself?
This is important as well. On player, the layer is still default, so we're gonna have to switch them to Gort. And now when we hit play, the bullets will no longer interact with Gort, and he just stays in place. And now they also fly through the walls. Currently, you can see there's no limit to how fast you can shoot bullets.
That's my laptop doing that. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
No, it's not sticky keys. You can only press 2 arrow keys on collision.
Okay.
That's how they do something.
So now we're gonna want the bullets to actually do something, hit something. So we can create a new object. So create 2D object, sprites. You can go to circle, and we're gonna call this one Asteroid. And then we can also make it slightly grayer because it's made of rock, and rock is gray. So within Asteroid, we're going to set the layer right away to Asteroid and reset the transform so it's at the center. Down here, we are going to want a circle collider 2D so it can interact with things. Do you have a charger? Yes.
Is it gonna explode?
I just got the 29% remaining. And then on the collider, we're gonna want it to trigger when it interacts with something. So when it hits Gort, we're gonna want to kill Gort. And then when a bullet hits it, we also want to destroy the asteroid. So down here, we're gonna add component, and we're gonna call this one Gort Asteroid.
Gort destroyed.
New script. Create and add. Assets, scripts. And now it'll take a second to load. And then on the Gort Asteroid, you can double click to access the script. And so we're going to want our asteroids to have a little bit of variance. So we can do serialize field. Ignore that. We don't want to update right now. We're going to want a private float size, a private or a public float direction, and then a private float speed. So within start, we're going to want to randomly assign a size. So we grab the transform dot scale or dot scale. One moment. The asteroid local scale. Yes. Okay. Local scale dot scale, and this will basically just change the size of the asteroid, and then we want that to be a random value. This will give you a number from 0 to 1, and so if we want a minimum size, we can add 0.5. So that means the smallest asteroid will be scaled by 1/2. But then we also want an upper bound. So we can do, let's do times 2. So this will basically mean vector 2. Vector 2. We need to basically, since it's a transform, we're going to need to transform it on 2 axes, and instead of just making it an x and y value, you need to make it a vector 2 value. So here you have our x value that we're scaling by, and then our y value that we're scaling by.
Will the random value choose the same value each time if they run at the same time?
No, actually it won't. So this will give us some.
We'll have oblong asteroids?
Yes, sir.
Oh my
Yes, sir.
gosh.
So now, we also want a random speed given a size. So do speed equals random dot value. And then, of course, we need a direction. But if we, we'll get to that in a second. So we can do transform dot translate, and then we're going to want to move in the direction given times by the speed times by time dot delta time, and the direction, my bad, needs to be a vector 2. Yes. So now, with this, we're going to want something to spawn asteroids into our game. We shut that down, give it a second to compile the script. Down here on asteroid, we can, wait a minute. Oh, we didn't use our size at all. That's fine. We can just eliminate that.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. If you want to change that, you can include that in the function as well. But then we want the asteroid to be a prefab. Click, drag, push it down there, and then we can delete that. We can go to create empty, and we can call this one a game manager. And this is a common thing I like to do with all my Unity games, is just create one empty object in a scene to kind of manage overall game stuff that doesn't fit neatly into a character like Gort. So then if we go to scripts, we can create a mono behavior script, call this one Gort Game Manager. We can give it a second, click that onto Game Manager. Oh, missed that. Gotta click and drag it precisely there. So now,
Gotta do Unity aim trading.
yes. So now over here, we can go to mono behavior script and create another one also called Asteroid Spawner. Similar to Bullet Spawner.
No, you need to follow the
Oh,
Gort naming convention,
yes.
or else
My
Unity
bad.
will snipe you.
There we go. Gort Asteroid Spawner. And now we can also click and drag that. Okay.
Might just have to read.
Yes. Sorry about that.
We forgive you.
So now we can click and drag Gort Asteroid Spawner onto there. And then within the Gort Asteroid Spawner, we're going to want to target the player a little bit. So, to prevent more errors, I'll just copy and paste the script and we can talk about it line by line. So
Nice.
here, public game object prefab, that's going to be the asteroid we're going to want to spawn. And in order to set it in the editor, you can either have it be public, or you can do what we have been doing and serialize field private. Public is kind of the quick and dirty way of doing that, instead of having to write serialize field on top a bunch. But serialize field is the more proper way to do it. And then, of course, we're going to want a target. In this case, it's going to be Gort. And then we're going to want a spawn radius for where the asteroids can spawn around Gort. You don't want them spawning directly on Gort, otherwise they'll just get like blown to smithereens right away. And then here, angle variance. It's going to be fairly easy to dodge them if they're just making a straight beeline for Gort. So we're going to want to tweak their angle a little bit, so that way they kind of...
They're a bit unpredictable.
Bit unpredictable, yes. And then here, similar to bullets, we don't want them to just fly forever if you don't blow them up with your gun. So we're going to have a despawn time. And then in update, while the... Oh, time since last spawn, my bad. Since this is the spawner, we don't want a billion asteroids to spawn every frame. We want to time them out. So here, time since last spawn, you just increase that by the time since last frame. And if you have like a leg spike and let's say 20 seconds passed, you don't want there to be just one asteroid spawned. You want there to be a bunch of them spawned. So while time since last spawn is greater than 5, you're going to subtract it down by a little bit, so that way it responds to how many you've spawned. And then we got game object spawn asteroid, and this, similar to the bullet spawner, instantiate prefab, creates the asteroid, and we get the game object so we can modify some stuff on it. Down here, we get the position of the, well, we make a random position, I should say, and random value gives us a value between 0 and 1. So we want to shift that so it's a random value between negative 0.5 to positive 0.5. And we do that for the X and Y. And then normalizing, normalizing that basically converts it to a unit vector around the around the origin. So in whatever direction it's facing, it's 1 away from the origin. And then the spawn position, when we multiply it by the spawn radius, just pushes that point, the spawn radius amount away from the origin. And so, coincidentally, the direction we're wanting to go is it might be beneficial for me to draw this out. So currently, this is the origin, and we have some random point out here. If we take the negative values, we get basically this direction towards the origin. And so this atan function, atan2, basically just says what angle are we facing, and then get rid of that. To target, we want the angle to change a little bit. So instead of going straight towards the player, we want to go that way a little bit or that way. And we're going to want to add a small angle to that direction. So we take a random value, subtract 0.5 to make it between -1/2 and +1/2. Convert that from radians to degrees, just so that way it's easier to set that. Degrees are a little bit more human readable, and then multiply that by the angle we want to swing the asteroids by a little bit. So now we can get our final direction, new vector 2, just some fancy math to get the x and y values for the new direction. And then finally, the position we spawn the asteroid, we want to center that around the player. So currently we've been working around the origin, but if the player's over here, we basically just want to shift all this math over to where the player is. So that way we can target the player, and then the spawned asteroid, we basically just grab the transform, grab the position, set it to the position we just created, and then spawned asteroid, get the asteroid component we made. That's going to need to be Gort asteroid, and yes, leave, and then we get the direction, set the direction. So now you save that, go down here. We're going to have to set some parameters in the game manager. So if we go to player, click and drag that onto the target. We need the asteroid prefab. Click and drag that to the prefab. Spawn radius, we can set that to, let's say 5. And then let's say we want 20 degrees of angle variance. So now asteroids will spawn in a circle around Gort and head in his general direction. So
He's in peril.
I believe
Or asteroid.
circle collider. Yep. So now asteroids spawn. You can see they aren't heading directly for Gort.
Oh my gosh, it's dead. Oh no. Oh man, we
So-
can't show this. We can't show this.
Currently, there's a lot of asteroids being spawned, so we can tone that down a little bit. Didn't mean to do that.
Docs me.
Sorry. So now, this is also why having access to it in the editor can be nice. So that way you don't have to go over here and adjust those. So,
Can you make them faster and spawn farther away?
yes.
Did you save the script?
Yes, I did. So now game manager, spawn radius, we can make that go to, let's say 8. And then asteroid, should have also made a speed component for that.
This one's
But
just
Gort
asteroids are up there.
Gort bullet.
Oh,
Or no,
yeah,
no,
Gort
no.
asteroid.
Gort asteroid, my bad.
So we need more of a channel. So speed. Where is the speed?
Speed equals random value. Let's multiply that by, let's go 6. 6F. C sharp, there's 2 different floating point values. So if you want decimals, you can have floats or what are called doubles. Floats are quicker to compute, but doubles have more precision. To specify float, you just have to do F. So now, if we hit play again, you'll see asteroids spawn around Gort with random speed. Probably.
Did you save that script?
Oh, I didn't save it. Yep.
Goodness.
There we go. You'll notice every once in a while you're editing something, you forget to save a script. It can be painful at times, but yeah. So now they're coming at Gort, and the movement we chose makes it a little bit difficult to dodge them and a little bit fun as well. Just kind of what we were going for. But Gort is gonna need to die when an asteroid hits him, and we also gonna want to blow them up when our bullets hit them. So, in the asteroid script, Gort asteroid, double click there. Since we have a collider on it, we have access to a function called private on trigger enter 2D. Basically, this means whenever it hits a collider or intersects a collider, like Gort, it's going to call this function. So, first of all, what we're going to do is want to get the new script we're going to add called Gort player. That's going to be red for right now because we haven't added it yet. And just call that player equals collision dot game object. Gets the game object associated with the collider, and then dot get component, and we're going to want the Gort player component. So now we're going to want to go back here, create a new mono behavior script called Gort player. Click and drag that. Oh, give it a second. Click and drag it onto player, and then open Gort player. We can get rid of all of these, and this will give us a unified place to handle what happens when Gort dies. A question many of us wonder.
What happens after?
I don't think anyone's wanting to know what happens.
So public
Nobody wants to see that.
kill Gort. Public void kill Gort.
You're killing him in the void?
So we can do game object to get Gort's game object dot set active false. Basically what this will do is make it so that Gort doesn't appear in the scene, but his game object is not present. It hides him, yes.
So he's not really gone.
Yes. So then I think I spelt that wrong, but resurrect. If you want to resurrect Gort, you can do game object dot set active true, and this will make it so Gort is alive again. This is a very nice way of doing respawn mechanics without having to reload your whole scene. Gort asteroid. Forgot to save something there. So now, within Gort asteroid, now on trigger enter 2D, so we get the player component of Gort. But the thing is, the asteroid can collide with a number of things, so including bullets. So bullets won't have a player script, so we want to filter those out. So if player does not equal null, so if you did find a game object collider with a player, that means it's Gort. So you can do player dot kill Gort, and this will kill Gort.
It's a much cleaner implementation than what I did.
Oh, that's fine. So then, similarly, on the
Fight back.
Gort bullet, we can also detect when Actually, you know what? Let's switch it up. Let's be a little bit nice. So, we can also attempt to see if it collided with a bullet. So, we can go Gort bullet. Oh, I'm not sure. Sometimes Unity autocomplete is nice. Sometimes it'll just give you gibberish like that. Bullet equals collision dot game object dot get component Gort bullet. And likewise, similar to player, if this is a bullet, it'll be able to grab that. Otherwise, it will be null. So we can check bullet does not equal null. And then what we're going to want to do if a bullet hits it is kill the bullet. So destroy collision dot game object. So if you just do destroy collision, it will destroy the collider on the game object, not the game object itself. But we want to kill the whole bullet, so we kill game object. And then similarly, we want to destroy the asteroid, which is this. And the order you do these is very important, because if you destroy the asteroid first, this line might not run. Kind of depends on the order in which the game engine decides to destroy stuff. So sometimes the asteroid won't get destroyed before it can run this line. Sometimes it will, and that can create some weird bugs that are really frustrating to debug. So make sure you destroy everything else and only destroy the game object the script is on until everything else is completed. So you can save that. And now give it a second, click play. And so when Gort moves around, the asteroids come flying.
Oh no.
Asteroids are not being destroyed. Oh, this is the bug I was telling you about earlier.
You
So,
didn't save the script, did you?
nope, that's not it.
No.
Destroy this will destroy the Gort asteroid script, not the actual game object. So, destroy this dot game object. Yes.
Splendid demonstrations.
Leonard.
And that was intentional.
It's learning mode.
Yes. So now, when we shoot the asteroids, they won't stop, they'll disappear.
Gord's got a gun and it works.
So, if you want to, you can do a similar thing.
Oh my god, he died.
Gort died, but if we want the asteroids to stop, we can actually do something very clever. And this is a key opportunity for us to use our game manager script. Within that, we can do a function called public void. We'll just call it stop time. So within stop time, we can do time dot timescale equal to 0. And this will basically make it so that way when delta time is called, the time between frames will be scaled by 0. 0 times whatever time it was is 0. So effectively, everything that uses timescale will stop. It'll freeze. So asteroids will stop spawning. Player movement will no longer move. Physics will stop. All that. So, and then we also want a way for public void start time. Time dot time scale equals 1.0 f. And that will basically set the time to 1, resuming it. If you want to make time super fast, you can adjust this to 2 or whatever value you want. So now, when Gort dies, we're going to want the Gort player, kill Gort, game manager dot,
Gort game.
Gort game manager. These also need to be static. So that means you don't need an instance of it to call it. Gort player, Gort game manager dot stop time, and then if you choose to resurrect him, Gort game manager dot start time.
Yes, we did.
And then when we press play, Gort gets hit by an asteroid. Everything stops. Asteroid stops spawning. Bullets, if I would have fired some, would have stopped. And everything's paused. So, yeah, that concludes the workshop, I believe. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. We're more than happy to help answer them either now, on the Discord later, anything of that such. Sorry about the scripts being all messed up.
Oh yeah.
We're trying something
I
new and
should
that
have told me in
didn't
advance.
quite work
Yes.
out. So.
It's okay.
I'll push what we did here to GitHub for anybody to use. Yeah, so
If you want to make the Gort video game,
right here.
here's your start.
Gort the franchise. Gort 2.
Yeah, Gort the franchise. It's just a series of Gort games. For real now. Okay, reminders, I guess. Sorry. But yeah, next week we're doing character design and pixel art. Again, looking forward to it. Should be fun. You don't necessarily need to bring anything. You can have just whatever software you want on your computer, or just use pen and paper. I'm not too picky on it. I'll probably, for pixel art, you can use whatever. I would suggest probably Paint.net. I'm assuming most of you are on Windows, so that's probably the easiest one to use. But again, you could use MS Paint if you really wanted. It just makes things a little harder and doesn't have some of the tools that make things kind of easier. So I would say Paint.net is what I suggest bringing installed. But chair positions are still open. If you, we still have a couple left to fill. So if you are interested, hit me up. So, and if you're interested in paying dues, getting a T-shirt, food at events, game jam prizes, stuff like that, talk to Adam. Gotta pay your dues. So, with that, go forth, make games, be awesome. Ignore my low battery message.
Your battery's low.
Don't tell anyone. Dude, I'm embarrassed. Don't tell anyone.